Hello everyone, Scienter here, and I for one am really glad that there is another episode this week, because wow, a lot of stuff went down last time. Let's check out our data log, in fact. Woo! Look at all these things. Battles. Roll, Saboteur. Saboteurs use their skills to weaken enemies. Okay, their bag of tricks includes not only attribute-lowering abilities, but also those that inflict status ailments like poison. When successful, these abilities increase enemy chain bonuses. Even if they fail to inflict status ailments, Saboteur abilities still deal damage. However, once enemies have been weakened sufficiently, it is generally best to shift Saboteurs to other roles. Roll bonus, boosted success rates. Abilities are more likely to succeed on enemies. Allies share a reduced bonus. Status ailments. The debuffing and debilitating status ailments inflicted by some abilities render enemies weak and vulnerable. However, opponents can and will use those very same abilities against you. If you do not take steps to counteract them, you may find yourself fighting at a disadvantage. Some accessories grant resistance to status ailments, as does the Veil spell. An icon with an upwards arrow represents an active resistance bonus. I see. Like that one? Icons with downward arrow represent detrimental status effects. So there's Debrave, Defaith, Strength, Magic, Deprotect, Deshell, Slow, and Imperil. Okay. Items remove some status ailments. Poison deals damage repeatedly over time, removed by antidote. Pain apparently is like a sword with an X on it. Prevents use of physical abilities, removed by Painkiller. Oh, that's why. Fog prevents spellcasting, removed by Mallet. I have no idea why, but okay. Daze prevents all actions and increases damage, removed by Foul Liquid. And Curse causes own abilities to fail often while rendering opponents likely to succeed, removed by Holy Water. The Asuna, I don't know, spell can also, I guess Asuna if it's Japanese, can also remove status ailments. This ability removes only the most recently inflicted ailment, so it must be used repeatedly if a character is suffering from more than one. There are also a small number of special status alterations, such as the following. Doom. When a character is inflicted with this status, a countdown begins. When the count reaches 0, the character is KO'd. There's no way to stop the effects of Doom, but certain accessories grant resistance to the instant KO caused by death and similar abilities. Dispel. Removes the most recent status enhancement from the target. Okay, so it's an unbuffer. Eidolon battles. When battling Eidolons, it is possible to deal damage to them as you would to any other enemy. However, this alone will not end the battle. As you attack Eidolons, a special gauge fills. When this gauge becomes full, you must press X to assert your dominance over the Eidolon and claim victory. Attacking is not the only way to charge the gauge. There are other methods. Oh, sorry. My O there was... I want to physically point to it, but you obviously cannot see my finger, so... If you look on the left in the picture of the Shiva sisters over there with the Gestalt gauge, you'll notice that the word Gestalt is not part of the gauge in so much as it's just next to the gauge. So filling up the gauge does not require to fill up the Gestalt part. Attacking is not the only way to charge the gauge. There are other methods differing between Eidolons which are just as effective. Experiment with a variety of abilities to see which work. So that's significant because I was under the impression that I needed to fill up through the Gestalt word as well, but I do not, it looks like. Which is why I was able to activate it when I could. The False Sea, Phoenix. Cocoon's own light in the sky, Phoenix is a sanctum fal'Cie tasked with providing warmth and illumination. So it's kind of the sun fal'Cie. It floats at the center of Cocoon's inner atmosphere like a miniature sun, bathing the surrounding world in its radiant glow. It is the fal'Cie who are responsible for Cocoon's climate, regularly adjusting weather as deemed necessary. Just as Phoenix regulates daylight, other subordinate fal'Cie maintain patterns of wind and precipitation. So my question is this where the down comes from? Locales? Okay, whatever. The Vile Peaks. I was expecting pushing up there to take me to the bottom entry, not the bottom slot of entries. The Vile Peaks are built of debris, the cast-offs of material originally lifted up from Pulse by the fal'Cie and used in the construction of Cocoon and later editions of Landmass. These towering piles of refuse now serve as lairs for all manner of beasts, including lower world mechanical horrors that, intentionally or not, hitched a ride with what became the building blocks of Cocoon. The Sanctum military endeavors to clear out the dangerous inhabitants of the peaks, but some say they leave the job half done to discourage civilians from entering the lowlands. Okay, so that sounds like it's going to be a dangerous place for us to explore. Eidolons. These mystical entities reveal themselves before only a select few Lassie. It is said that they are saviors, come to rescue hopeless Lassie who find themselves bound to focus against their will. If this is true, they offer a brand of salvation few indeed would seek willingly. Without exception, Eidolons attack the Lassie whose presences they grace. There have been no Lassie in Cocoon for centuries, and as a result, no way of determining the truth behind tales of these beings. For the citizens of Cocoon, they remain the stuff of bedtime stories. I see. People? Mysterious woman. A mysterious woman captures Snow on Lake Brescia after his exhausting battle with Psychom and the twin sisters. She bears the mark of Lassie, but her brand appears scorched and twisted. As a servant of Pulse, she should be fleeing the Sanctum Army, but she seems to be working with one of the military's units. And I was confusing her with Lebreau, which I think you can understand why. They're ostensibly somewhat similar, especially when it's been a while since I've seen Lebreau. The only way is up. Lightning and the others are now cursed Lassie. If they don't complete the focus given to them by the fallacy, they are destined to become mindless Seath. But how can they complete a focus that they don't understand? Their shared vision of the great beast Ragnarok laying waste to the world is their only clue. That and the fact that Pulse Lassie are held to be the mortal enemies of Cocoon. Could their focus really be to orchestrate the destruction of their own home? Snow doesn't think so. He believes their task is to fulfill Sarah's parting wish by keeping Cocoon safe. After all, wasn't she a Lassie, just like them? His shaky logic only serves to infuriate Lightning, who holds him responsible for her sister's fate. Their confrontation is cut short by the arrival of their Sanctum pursuers. Having made their escape, Lightning and the others pass through the ruins of a city damaged several centuries ago in the war with Pulse. Amidst the rubble, they happen upon an airship which they board in the hope of finally shaking the relentless army. Snow, meanwhile, remains behind with the crystallized Sarah. The twin sisters. There's no doubt in Snow's mind. They may be Pulse Lassie, but there's no way they can be enemies of Cocoon. Sarah's last words before she turns to Crystal are proof enough for him that their focus is to defeat Ragnarok and protect their world. Snow stays behind to defend his trapped fiancée after Lightning and the others decide to continue onward. Brought to his knees by wave after wave of Psychom soldiers during a protracted battle, maybe, if you feel like it, the desperate young man is suddenly overcome by a strange phenomenon. The twin sisters of Shiva, Styria and Nyx, appear before him in a blinding flash of light. They easily dispatch the remaining troops and then turn on Snow. He manages to defeat the icy Eidolons, but is soon captured by an unfamiliar Sanctum unit. A striking woman accompanies the soldiers, a woman with a Lassie brand. Meanwhile, try as they might, Lightning's group cannot shake their determined pursuers. Crippled by enemy fire, their airship plummets towards the ground. Okay, now that we are caught up on the things going on, let's journey onward.
End of the road.
But at least it's not the end of the line.
Uh-huh. So that's probably lights from other parts of the world. I'm imagining that's how the stars work. I mean, it depends upon how the world is structured, but if it is an interior world, like I'm imagining it is, then it'd be reasonable to assume that the stars are actually the lights of cities on the opposite side of the sphere, which is a really cool and interesting concept.
I think the big one's coming.
I wonder what that symbol means. She's been doing it a number of times.
We didn't disappoint this year. Wow.
You look dreamy, Farron. Wishing on fireworks, were you? And you call yourself a soldier?
Lieutenant Amador.
Sorry, Lieutenant. But I really don't think guard duty is my calling, sir.
Well, lucky for you, your shift just ended. Pack it up and go home.
But, sir,
SciComm found something in the vestige nearby. They don't want the Guardian Corps here stepping on their toes. Huh. I'm sure you heard about the accident at the Uriday Gorge energy plant, and how it has the SciComm lads in a tizzy.
Yeah. More incident than accident. Something pulse-related.
You're taking tomorrow off?
Sir, for my birthday, sir. My sister, she insisted on it.
21, huh? Maybe it's a good time to send off that letter of recommendation for officer training.
Lieutenant.
You're past due for a promotion, Farron. Think of your sister and your future, and keep your nose out of trouble.
Out of SciComm business, you mean?
Yeah, nothing good'll come of it. Nothing but grief. Whoa, look at that one! Whoa, whoa, ho!
How right you were, Lieutenant.
But they also established Vanille as being there.
Just you?
For now, I guess. Should we wait?
They'll catch up, eventually.
That's probably true. Hope has access to the Synergist role. Synergists play a supporting role in combat, using their abilities to enhance and strengthen themselves and their allies. As a Synergist, Hope can learn abilities to improve the party's defensive capabilities. Currently, Hope can use the Protect spell, which raises the target's resistance to physical damage. As he develops in the role of Synergist, Hope will also be able to learn Shell, which boosts magic resistance. With both of these spells at his disposal, Hope will be able to help the party endure a wide variety of attacks. When he has gained adequate CP, open the menu with Y and select Crystarium to teach him Shell via Christogenesis. Okay. We're in Chapter 4 now. Nothing but grief. Their airship damaged during the escape from the army, the Lassie are forced to make a crash landing in the Vile Peaks. Accustomed to the rigors of conflict, Lightning immediately sets off to outdistance any pursuit, trailed by Hope. Exhausted and on the brink of despair, Sazh cannot bring himself to follow. He knows the army will never stop chasing them, and even if they do somehow evade capture, they face transformation into Seath. How can they complete a focus they don't understand? Despite the futility of the situation, Sazh cannot leave Vanille to fend for herself, and he forces his reluctant legs to carry him onward. Far ahead of the others, Lightning recalls a conversation with her old superior, Lieutenant Amodar, in which he had warned her not to get involved with anything connected to the lower world. She, of course, subsequently chose not to heed his warning, and after confronting the Pulse Fal'Cie, found herself branded a Lassie. Now, anger smolders within her. Anger at her transformation to a Lassie, anger at being forced to flee like a fugitive, and anger at herself for allowing it all to happen. I do like how that reveals some motivations. Amador is a lieutenant in the Bottom Security Regiment and was Lightning's direct superior. Climbing his way through the ranks with persistence and hard work, he is respected by his subordinates for his fair treatment on and off the field of battle. Nora's unregulated monster hunting falls under his jurisdiction, but aside from a few warnings for the sake of formality, he generally turns a blind eye to the group's earnest efforts. The 13 days. Day 5, Uride. What is this? There was an accident at the Uride Gorge energy plant located near the seaside community of Bottom. Details of the accident were not released to the public, but the lack of information sparked widespread conjecture among the populace. Rumors began to circulate about an act of sabotage by Pulse Lassie, sending a whisper of panic through a society that has lived in terror of lower world invasion for centuries. And warning, assigned to security detail during the fireworks display in Bottom, Lightning was suddenly released from duty by her superior, Lieutenant Amodar. SciComm had found something in the nearby vestige. Lightning immediately thought of the accident that took place at the energy plant 6 days earlier. Voicing her concern that the incidents may be pulse-related, Lightning's questions were deflected by the lieutenant, who advised her to avoid anything that involves the lower world. Makes sense. The Synergist role. Extended enhancements. Abilities grant longer-lasting status enhancements. Allies shared a reduced bonus. Okay. And they allow your party to be more tanky or whatever. This paradigm system sounds really interesting, but they just change your party so much that it's hard to keep track of it. So they really have to kind of focus on giving you a bunch of stuff. Oh my goodness, I have so much CP. Your characters can now develop further. Okay. Learned Fault Siphon. Slightly charge HP gauge upon attacking target inflicted with status ailment. I see. Okay. Well, let's get you your Ravager stuff. That's probably going to be a help. Okay. Let's see where this road goes. Hey, it goes to a safe point.
Around here came from Pulse, didn't it?
That's what the data log said. I have been reading it regularly. Okay, this looks like an upgraded form of the dogs. Yeah, upgraded form of dog type for me. Okay, so I could switch to the dual casting. Which has the benefit of allowing me to use lightning. Damage with lightning. Shocker. Like, at some point in time, I think the game's probably going to hit a stage that where it opens up a lot more. And you can kind of tweak your party composition and all these sorts of things, but... another Libroscope. I kind of get the impression that it's going to take... Until I get other reasons to use things. There's just not a reason to. Let's see what... Because it said new materials are available in the shop. Let's go... Oh, Up in Arms is... Okay. They got a bunch of equipment that I certainly cannot afford. I believe I have a data credit, but I'm not sure how I make use of that. Ah, there it is. It's a credit chip. Well, I'm going to hang on to it for the moment. Okay, they now sell silver bangles, black belts, to increase your physical resistance and magic resistance. Okay. I don't know when I'm buying those things, but presumably some point in time I will. Yeah, that skybox is really cool. Okay, I want to take out the Pantheon. So those things are pretty weak. And this thing is weak to lightning, so I should definitely use this dual casting. Cool. This game certainly takes a while, but it does start to build on itself and its mechanics. Okay, well, let's see what's going on over here.
This stuff is what was left over from the scrap the Thou C took from Pulse to repair Cocoon.
Something like that. Okay, and these guys were... Yeah, they were weak to lightning, so...
Just stay out of my way.
This is definitely the paradigm system is. Wait, what just
I
happened?
can't stop now.
Whoa. Did we just game over out of friggin' nowhere? That was out of friggin' nowhere. These things are nasty. I'm just gonna switch to this one. I think I need to stay in this because I need Hope healing me healing both of us pretty constantly. These things seem to hit really hard. I don't know where that. Oh, that's what it is. They have this one attack that hits like a friggin' truck.
Stay sharp.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of strategy to figuring out when you need to do what things. But like, okay, so here's the thing. The paradigm shift is an interesting idea, but really what it's a way is it for you to control your AI companions without needing to control your AI companions, if that makes sense. And really what paradigm shifting is it's kind of like, yes, it's ability shifting, and to some extent there's some aspects of that that's really interesting, but it seems like for the most part what it serves to do is to tell your AI companions what they're supposed to be doing. So we'll see if it gets a little bit more nuance to it. It's certainly a fine system, but it feels a little overwrought for what it needs to be. Like it feels like a complicated way of trying to make ATB work in the way that it is.
Stay sharp.
It definitely, the game wants you to be switching paradigms a lot, it feels like.
Stay sharp.
As long as I have the defensive spell on. There we go, got the stagger off. These battles are definitely getting a lot more complicated and a lot more difficult though, which makes them more interesting and engaging. Is it this button that's a map of the area? Okay, so it looks like we're wandering around towards the cutscene that way. Over there is where we started. That's where the thing broke. So we're going to loop around to where they were by the looks of things. Or we're going to come up here to a cutscene and then switch over to them as they find their way. Okay, whatever this is, it's new. So I definitely... Let's work Soldier. It is weak to lightning. Okay. Did it have specifically... See, like, it would be good to have information on here if, like, this has high damage attacks or, like, some sort of flavor text to kind of describe how much I might need to, like... Okay, don't worry about so.
Stay sharp.
Let's go ahead and switch to this one. I feel like she needs to be commando because otherwise everything drains too quickly. So while her lightning damage is preferable, I think I need to switch to that after this thing has been stunned. Because right now, like, the Ravagers are good at getting it up, getting the stagger up, but Commando keeps it from draining as quickly, and that's really what's important right now. So once this thing is staggered, I can switch to dual cast and start laying on the lightning damage.
Just stay out of my way.
Yeah, and then that hits it like a truck, because it's weak to it now, and it no longer has the resistances. Okay. Yeah, definitely a lot more nuance happening in the battles at this point in the game. I got a spark plug. Got a lot more nuance to these systems. Okay, is this a cutscene?
Dead end. Guess we have to go back. Can we get through this way, you think? You know where you're going, right?
I've been here on missions before.
Missions? Nothing to do with the Purge, though.
The Purge is SciComm's baby. Our military is split into two arms. The Public Security and Intelligence Command, known as SciComm, and the Guardian Corps. I was Guardian Corps, Bodum Security Regiment.
Wait, but I don't get it. If you're not SciComm, then why did you board the train?
For Sarah.
Join the end of the line! Attention Purge deportees. Follow instructions and stay in your lines. Personal belongings will be returned upon arrival. Do not leave your lines! This is for your own safety! Huh? What's the GC doing here? This op's under SciComm direction.
So direct me. Let me on. I want to be purged.
Only civs get purged. Sanctum staff and soldiers are exempt. Huh?
Then I quit.
Line up!
Excuse me. Hey, lady. What gives?
I volunteered.
Really? You don't look ready to go quiet into that good night.
You want quiet? You better take the next train.
Well, now I really want to see what you're up to.
I had to rescue Sarah before they transported the vestige to Pulse, and out of my reach. My only chance to save her was to join the Purge.
I see.
You're telling me you got on that train so you could save your sister? crazy. I could never do something like that.
It's not a question of can or can't. There are some things in life you just do.
Easy for someone like you to say. Lightning! She left me.
Yeah. That would accurately summarize what just happened.
1, 2, 3. Off we go.
What are you up to? Hey! Wait up!
Can't keep up with this girl.
Sazh has gained access to the Synergist role. Synergists play a supporting role in combat using their abilities and blah blah blah. Yes, we already know. Currently, Sazh can use the Faith spell, which raises the target's magic attribute, increasing the damage dealt by that target's spells. Okay, so he's the opposite side right now in synergy of Hope. Hope increases your defense, Sazh increases your offense. Okay. As he develops in the role of Synergist, Sazh will also be able to learn Bravery, which boosts the target's strength. With both of these spells at his disposal, Sazh will be able to vastly improve the party's effectiveness against a variety of opponents when he's gained an adequate CP. Open the menu and select your stream, blah blah blah. Three-way battles. At times, you will encounter enemy groups engaged in combat with one another. With their attentions occupied, it becomes easier for you to initiate combat with a preemptive strike. Coming in contact with a member of either side will initiate a battle against both. However, the enemies may not even notice your presence at first, continuing to fight one another instead. When this occurs, it is most effective to concentrate all of your attacks against the side you expect to have the most trouble defeating. Once you have defeated the first group of enemies with help from their foes, you can turn and fight the already weakened second faction. Hit your targets poorly, and you may be left waging a long and bitter battle against overwhelming odds.
You get tired?
He does. Okay, so let's... Okay, we got a bunch of stuff to look at here. I want to be purged. The Sanctum announces that the Pulse Fal'Cie and any civilians who may have come into contact with his influence are to be deported to the world below. Knowing that Sarah is being held by the offending creature, Lightning reasons that the only way to reach her sister before they are exiled is to board the train and be purged herself. After coming to this conclusion, she acts without hesitation. She knows the risks, but there are some things you just have to do. As Hope listens to Lightning's tale, he begins to realize how different they are. He knows he doesn't have the strength to charge into certain danger, even if he has no other choice. Unable to keep up with the battle-hardened soldier, Hope falls into despair. Meanwhile, Sazh and Vanille fight their way along a different route. Like Lightning, Sazh had joined the Purge voluntarily, but now he simply acts as fear and despair prompt him, his former resolve seemingly forgotten. Day 13, volunteering. After discovering that Sarah was being held captive by the Pulse Fal'Cie, Lightning volunteered herself to be purged. The Fal'Cie was to be transported away from Cocoon, along with the purged deportees. Lightning needed to board the train and reach the lower world entity before Sarah was taken beyond her reach. Sazh, too, had his reasons for approaching Lightning and joining her as she headed for the Pulse Fal'Cie. The train carried them away, bound for the restricted zone known as the Hanging Edge. This is just going to tell me about, three-way battles. Cool. And then enemy intel. I'm just going to clear out some of these things here. Pulse Automata, Pulseworks Soldier. Kind of nasty. Others, Eidolons, Styria. Okay. And that is that. And Nyx is the other one. Cool. I want to not have my data log beeping at me or whatever. equipment. Magician's Mark and Doctor's Code, which makes items better. I think I might try equipping her with a silver bangle. Actually, no. A lot of enemies around here dealing lightning damage. Let's give her that. Okay, and then they both have tons of Crystarium to use, so let's go ahead and do some of that. He has a lot of his Ravager stuff. Let's get him some of his Synergist stuff. Vigilance. Boost target's odds of interrupting actions and avoiding interruption of own. Okay, he still has plenty of CP to go after some more Ravager upgrades, so... Okay, let's look at her. She can also get Saboteur. There's a bunch you can get with Medic, but... Let's actually continue. There, let's give her Fire. Okay, and that completes that. Yes. Yes. Okay, I want to go ahead and jump into her Saboteur stuff. Okay. There we go. A bunch of random management. Okay, so this path should allow him to be able to catch up to, or allow this party, I should say, to catch up to the other one.
Robots are fighting each other?
Can we just stop this over?
Way to go, Sazh!
Ah. Let's get this Pulsework Soldier some.
Kick back!
I want those other things, because these guys are tanky. Uh-oh, dude. None of my guys are... have a ran... Yeah, okay, let's try this one. Ravager and Medic. I think we can just double Ravager. Okay, it's staggered. Good.
Did you see that coming?
These watch drones are interesting. They don't have weakness. I guess they just took so much damage from the other thing that they were pretty badly worn out. We've also buffed our abilities, so definitely each of these characters have very different playstyles, and one of the things that they're doing is they're kind of saying, okay, try out this character, try out that character.
Never seen a rig like this before. Here we go. Oh! Whoa, 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 whoa! I knew that would happen.
Uh-huh. I've never seen a rig like this before. Whoa, 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 whoa. I knew that would happen. Right, right. So you've never seen something like it before, but you knew what would happen when you pulled the lever. I don't believe you. I want to go after these Pulsework Soldiers. These guys are massively tough. It seems to me, anyway.
We got this, Vanille.
let's go ahead and go back to dual casting. I want some healing. Never mind. Okay, no, she got me. I'm doing okay. Kinda needing her medic to hang around for a little while here.
Go, girl! Follow the old man's lead.
There we go. That was a challenging battle, but I feel like these guys are kind of missing some of the tools. Like, not having commando is really rough. So... getting the early stagger.
Everything from Pulse is evil, doesn't it?
Okay, I want to specifically target some of the dog bots. These guys.
Bullseye!
'Cause those guys are kind of durable, apparently.
Way to go, Sazh!
Let's see. Okay, so that one is 2 HP. That one's fairly full. Okay, and that guy's way down on his HP as well. So I think right now the main priority is taking that down a little bit.
We got this, Vanille.
I want to...
Nice time.
let's start targeting the soldier. Because the other one's weaker and significantly less threatening than the soldier as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, that one's already down anyway. The thing is, we're going to have a really hard time staggering anything just because we don't have a commando, so the meter just drops so quickly. So that's when you really have to be picking your targets. And apparently the Thought did a good job of it. Yeah. Now, there was a treasure chest over here. I obtained a black belt. That's nice.
This should do it.
Huh?
Piece of cake.
That's a hefty battle up here, though.
Can't we just talk this over?
I don't like fighting any of these. But I want to start taking down this pulse work soldier. Okay, both of them have pretty decent damage on them. I'm gonna start targeting some of these dogs.
Follow the old man's lead.
Let's buff these. I mean, this isn't really relevant, but whatever.
Did you see that coming?
Okay, let's try to take out one of these soldiers. Game up. Come down. Oh, the other one's super HP filled. So, yeah, definitely the soldier needs to be targeted. That's the most HP. I definitely don't think you should be trying to finish off any particular enemy group too quickly. The thing is, we're gonna have a really hard time staggering it, so it's just gonna be super tanky. How are things? Okay. I still want to poke it that much, and I'll start going after some of these dogs. They're gonna be down pretty soon, and I want to start getting. I want to get down to like a dog. Again, we don't have commando, so we can't stagger stuff. Okay, definitely focus on this dog. The soldier is going to be down very easily afterwards. Cool, that worked out really well. Definitely getting a stronger feel for kind of balancing stuff with some of these battles and whatnot. Well, they can definitely be kind of lengthy. Now let us advance the plot.
We made it!
Where's Grumpy? Got left behind, huh?
Leave me alone.
Hey,
This is pointless. Can't keep up. Can't get home. It's over for me.
It's not over. We'll get you home.
I don't have one. Now that Mom is.
What about your dad?
Man, everything was happening at this fireworks display on day 11.
Keep them coming. You can feel it when they go off. Hey, huh?
Not making a wish, Hope?
Mom, you still believe in that kind of stuff? Wishing on fireworks? Really? That's for little kids.
What are you calling kid?
You? What'd you wish for?
Oh, that next year, your father could come with us.
Why? It's better like this. We don't need him. That night, they found the Foul Sea in the Bodum vestige. The next day, soldiers sealed off the town, and we couldn't get back to Palom Polum. They forced us onto the train with everyone else. My mom, she was frantic. She wanted to get us home, so she tried to fight. She got tricked by Snow. He used her!
Let's get you home, okay? Your dad's gotta be worried.
Let him worry. Why should I care? He doesn't.
Any father cares.
Sazh?
It's nothing. Forget it.
Come with me, okay?
This ought to do it. We've got time. We'll get you back home. Your dad'll be happy to see you.
What have we accomplished with that button that Sazh is so good at finding? Oh, our data log is updated, you say? 13 days. Day 11, mother and son. Will we see things about the other days, I wonder? Because we've gotten a ton on 11. A little bit on 10, a little bit on 13, 1 on 5. Residents of Palumpalum, Hope and his mother came to Bodum to see the fireworks display. That same night, Sycom discovered the Pulsefell Sea slumbering within the vestige. The following day, the Sanctum announced the discovery and sealed off the entire district of Bodum. Trapped by the quarantine and unable to return home, mother and son were forced to join the other victims of the Purge. Excuse me. Yep. Hope and despair. As a resident of Palumpalum, Hope should never have been a candidate for the Purge. The radical government policy only concerns the inhabitants of the town of Bodum. Unfortunately for Hope and his mother, the Sanctum announces the Purge on the day they are visiting the coastal community, and the Sanctum soldiers rounding up the deportees make no distinction between locals and visitors. Later at the Hanging Edge, Hope's mother is killed in the violence which erupts when the true nature of the Purge is revealed. This indirectly leads to Hope's encounter with the Pulsefell Sea and transformation into a cursed Lassie. Now he rails against his cruel fate. He curses the government that started the Purge, the Foul Sea who made him a Lassie, the army that hunts him like a criminal. But most of all, he chokes on the hatred he feels for Snow, the man responsible for dragging his mother into the battle that claimed her life. Sazh wants to help Hope return home to his father. The boy shows little enthusiasm for a family reunion, but Sazh is insistent. He knows how it feels to be a dad. After all, he's Chocobo Dad, right? There's probably more to the story than that, obviously, but... I guess we're fighting Zotomton. Well, let's get it.
Let's get this over with.
Changing
Changing gears.
It seems like a good way to start things off. I guess we're going for Tide Disaster. Oh man. We can slam him with a ton of stuff and get his bar way up, but without a commando, we cannot keep it up long enough to actually stagger the dang thing. There we go. Managed to accomplish it by triggering stuff early. But commandos, like, this is really making it clear how important commandos are. Ravagers can hit really, really hard, but commandos keep battle momentum kind of in your favor. But figured it out there in the end. Okay. Well, the good news is we got to the save point. The bad news is I'm going to need to stop here at the save point because... No, not new data. Because let's face it, this has been a very long episode. So, thank you very much for watching. And, until next time, everyone.
Guess we're fighting.
Oh, man. I forgot this treasure chest. Hold a moment. Let's get our loot, and then we'll call it an episode. Ooh, we got a new boomerang for our friend. Wait. What? Really? The air wing boosts physical and magical resistance when the wielder is severely wounded. Designed with balanced performance in mind, this boomerang deliberately avoids the extreme characteristics of competitor models. So this air wing gives 18 and 12 with critical shield, and this one, wow, they gave me just a boomerang that's worse than his default one. That was hardly a worthwhile treasure. Okay, well, anyway, now that I've gotten very, very disappointing, nonsensical loot, let's go ahead and save that and call this episode to a close. So until next time, everyone, take care, may your treasure chest be filled with actually useful loot, and goodbye.